The human mind is a fragile thing. We watch horror movies, convinced we'd be the one to survive, the one to outsmart the villain. But what if the game was real? What if the traps weren't on a screen, but in your own home, designed by someone watching your every move? The stories you're about to hear are inspired by terrifying real-life events. These aren't just tales, they're warnings. Ask yourself as you listen, would you survive these traps? Our first story is about Jessica, a 24-year-old who cherished the solitude of her city apartment. One Tuesday evening, she came home from a long day at work, ready to unwind. She locked her door, a routine she never skipped, and went to take a shower. When she came out, wrapped in a towel, she found the deadbolt on her front door slid shut. The chain was latched. She was locked in from the inside, but she hadn't done it. Panic started to prickle at her skin. On her small kitchen table sat a small, ornate wooden box that definitely wasn't hers. A digital timer on its side was counting down from 10 minutes. Taped to the top was a note in neat, block letters. The key is inside. Fail, and the price is steep. Jessica's heart hammered against her ribs. She shook the box. Something rattled. It was a puzzle box, she realized, with sliding panels and intricate carvings. Her hands, slick with sweat, fumbled with the wooden pieces. As the worked, the thin, sharp blade slowly emerged from a hidden slot in the table, inching closer to where her hands were. The timer beeped incessantly, each second a hammer blow to her nerves. She had to solve it. With just moments to spare, she heard a final click. The box sprang open. Inside was not a key to the puzzle, but her own front door key. She snatched it, her fingers brushing against a second. Smaller note, I'd like to what you think. She unlocked the door and bolted into the hallway, not stopping until she was surrounded by people on the street below. The police later found evidence that someone had been living in her crawlspace for weeks, watching her through a tiny hole in the ceiling. The game was over, but the chilling realization had just begun. The monster had been in the house all along. Next, we follow Mark, a delivery driver who thought he knew every shortcut in Bacali in the city. His route was predictable, his days monotonous. That changed when a package with his own name and address appeared in his delivery pile. There was no sender. Confused, he took it home. Inside, he found a strange, industrial-looking mask attached to a small oxygen tank and another ticking timer, this one set for 5 minutes. A note read, "The air in your apartment is no longer safe. Put on the mask." The code to the tank is the answer to this riddle premeda. I bay cities, but no houses. I have mountains, but no trees. I have water, but no fish. What am I? Mark's blood ran cold. He suddenly smelled a faint, chemical odor, sweet and cloying. Was he imagining it? Was this a prank? His lungs started to feel tight. The timer's red digits seemed to mock him. He grabbed the mask, his mind racing. Cities, but no houses. Mountains, but no trees. He thought of his job, of the maps he used every single day. A map. He fumbled with the lock on the oxygen tank, spelling out MOP on the combination dial. With a hiss, clean air flooded the mask. He strapped it to his face, breathing deeply as the timer hit 0. Just as he did, a thick, yellow gas began pouring from his air vents. He scrambled out of his apartment, gasping in the fresh air of the hallway. He later discovered that a disgruntled former co-worker, obsessed with his efficiency and success, had been stalking him for months. He had rigged the ventilation system, intending to play a sick game. Mark escaped with his life, but the memory of the gas and the ticking clock would haunt his every breath. His daily routine was no longer a comfort, but a reminder of how easily the familiar can become a hunting ground. Our final story is about Emily, a 19-year-old college student with a love for horror video games. She thought she knew all the tropes, all the jump scares, all the ways to beat the final boss. One night, after a late study session at the campus library, she stepped into the building's oldest elevator. The doors slid shut, and the lights flickered and died, plunging her into darkness. Then, the emergency light came on, casting a dim, red glow. The floor indicator, instead of a number, displayed a cryptic message. The only way out is up, but every floor is a new fear. The elevator lurched, not up or down, but sideways, before beginning a slow, grinding ascent. The first stop wasn't the floor, but a jolt. A recorded voice, distorted and low, echoed in the small space. The ceiling holds your prize, but also your demise. Emily, channeling her favorite video game protagonists, looked up. A ceiling panel was slightly ajar. Standing on the handrail, she pushed it aside. A bundle of wires and a keypad were revealed. But as she reached for it, a razor-sharp blade swung down from the darkness, missing her face by an inch. It was on a pendulum, swinging back and forth in a deadly rhythm. The voice returned. Solve the sequence, or be sliced. The keypad lit up, showing a series of symbols she recognized from one of the games. Her knowledge, once just a hobby, was now her only lifeline. With trembling hands, she timed the blade's swings, punching in the correct code between each pass. The elevator shuddered and resumed its ascent, the doors finally opening onto the ground floor. She stumbled out, gasping for air, into the empty library lobby. She thought it was a malfunction, a terrifying but random event. But as she fled the building, she didn't see the shadowy figure watching from a security office, a bank of monitors displaying the inside of the elevator. On one screen, her terrified face was frozen in a close-up. The game was over for her, but for the person watching, it was just another successful test run. These accounts are inspired by real events where ordinary people were forced into situations straight out of a horror film. It wasn't a movie. There was no director to yell cut. There was only the ticking clock, the imminent danger, and the terrifying realization that the monster wasn't a mythical creature, but a person. It leaves you to wonder, doesn't it? We all believe we have a survival instinct, but how sharp is it, really? How well do you know your own home, your daily route, the people you see every day? If the game was real, and the stakes were your life, would you survive? Thank you for watching. If these stories chilled you to the bone, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more tales from the edge of reality. Stay safe out there, and always be aware of your... You never know who might be watching.